Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill the Small Talk, and I'm your host, Alex Caron. On this podcast, I bring in guests from all walks of the entertainment industry, and we get down to the nuts and bolts. On this episode, I'm talking to my friend Juan Gil. He's a writer and director. Here's the episode. Enjoy. It's great to have you, dude. I'm finally glad I'm able to have you on and able to speak to you. I know we saw each other at Rick's Richard's show, and we got to see his short, the comedian, and it was, and then we were all hanging out outside, and I saw you taking pictures with everyone. I was like, cool, I'm gonna talk to Juan, and then I turn around, and then you're just gone. I was like, oh shit, where'd you go?
Oh shit, yeah. I wonder how long I dipped out. Yeah, I mean, I was there for a little bit.
You were there for a little bit, yeah. You were there like 10, 15 minutes afterwards. But I didn't, you were talking to people and taking photos. So I was like, I won't bother him. And I was like waiting for the right moment, and then you were like that. You were just gone. It's like shit.
Yeah, no, it was great to see Richard, and it's always great just to go out and support your talented friends, right? And then in that short, in that monologue, it's one of those moments where I know how talented my friend is, but he showed me this whole other side to you that's like, oh wow, you're so talented, man. And it was just such a joy, such a pure feeling of wow, my friend just motivated me to be better. You know what I mean? It's such a great feeling. Yeah, so it was great to witness that and be there that night.
Yeah, man. And then from all the other monologues we watched, the amount of production that went into them, and I forget the name of him, but the guy who directed them all, and and the cinematographer he used, I was just astonished. I was like, damn, these are monologues. These are these are short films.
I agree. I was really they each felt very tonally different, and in the way in which they were directed and photographed. And I thought, nice, the director did his job and just shoot all of them the same. There was a horror one that was pretty cool that opened the whole block, and then Richard's the comedian. That one was so Birdman-esque and floating camera, and the editing style too, and all of them were very different. In the comedic piece, as comedies mostly should be, just kind of locked off, no fast editing or anything like that. So it was very true to just stay on the person that's giving this funny monologue. Right. So yeah, I was impressed by that too. It was cool.
I went up to the director and I was like, hey, was there a hint of the Birdman in there? He was like, yes, absolutely. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I could tell who you were influenced by. But anyways, man, we're here to talk about you. That's why you're on here. So walk me through the genesis of Juan Gil. Where did you grow up? Are you an LA guy?
No, I was born in Miami, Florida, but I was raised in Houston, Texas, the majority of my life. So I'm a Texan boy, and then I went to college at Texas Tech, which is in West Texas, and then after that, I graduated. Immediately got a job at an ad agency. Right after graduation, was miserable because I hadn't moved out to LA, even though all my professors and my advisors and all my closest friends were telling me to do so. But I was a little too chicken, and I just I had a girlfriend too, and so I was thinking stability, settling down. I was having these thoughts at 22, 23, which is ridiculous. But a lot of, if you're from Texas, that's a lot of people's mindset. Just get a house with a yard and you're good. And then that's it. But that wasn't enough for me. And so then I moved out to LA, a month after I got that job. I quit, and then I moved my entire life within a week. And then I've been here ever since. And so that was my journey to get here.
That's insane, man. So you're in your early 20s, post college. What was there support from the family?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, my mom, I'm her only child, so she was sad that I was leaving to a whole other state, and was just, typical Latina mother, just really worried about her son. her mijo going out to
Yeah.
LA, you know.
Yep.
And I get it, but was supportive, you know, and she knew how serious I was because I was incredibly productive in college and had made a ton of stuff and had won awards and all that stuff. And I just had tremendous confidence moving out to LA. And so she just believed in me. My dad believed in me. And then once I got out here, it was like hit the ground sprinting. Yeah.
I think that's because like my mom's Latina. She's from Mexico City, and I have a similar journey as far as like, so like my dad was like extremely supportive since the beginning. My mom was a little more like, well, you know, like acting, it's you know, it's something to do for fun. It's not really a true like career. Like you could do it, like you could, you know, you could be a teacher. You could be a teacher full time, and then you could act like here and there and do theater and but I think once she saw that because I was also like productive and meeting people, and I'm also very just a social person. I love talking to people. I love meeting with people. And I think the more that she saw that, and the more she saw me being productive about like making projects and meeting people, then she was like, okay, wait, hold on. I see where you're going. And then there was more and more and more support. And now she's like pretty much got my full support, which is great, but not a lot of people get.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have that support whenever I was in high school, going to college, wanting to study production and media and film. They were super like against it. So I had to go through college to like prove myself because I was just screwing around in high school. I mean, it made sense from their perspective. Like I wasn't in the theater department. I wasn't in the broadcast team or anything. I was just concerned with all the dumb things you get concerned about in high school, you know? And so it made sense why they were against it. But then I proved myself, I think, in college, and then fully got their support.
Where did the initial interest start? Because like, I mean, were you surrounded by, you know, are you surrounded by artists in your family? Like it was.
Well, I do come from a family of creatives, a lot of musicians, novelists, writers, some of my uncles were in theater, and it was just like, yeah, it was, but it really started whenever I was a kid. I was 11, and my older cousin, Daniel, he was 12 or so. Mm-hmm. He was the filmmaker, you know, and I was just his younger actor for all the home movies that he would make because we were just bored. And so he would make these things, these home movies. I'd always act in them. We had fun. We would show them to the family. They'd be so entertained by like, look at these kids, you know, just how they're spending their free time. And then that kind of like planted that seed, and I always loved movies. But I didn't know what that meant other than like having a very, you know, strong opinion about them and what I really loved about them, and like breaking them down and what made them good and what didn't. And I always did that in high school too. I was always like the movie guy. Always people would always ask me like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, why is this a good movie? And da-da-da. And in high school, like, though I was not productive, I was always writing in my little journal, and I was writing dialogue, little snippets of stories and little snippets of scripts, even though I'd never really read a script ever. I was just kind of like, writing was always a part of my life as a young boy, whether it was like writing comic strips and telling a story that way. I just always I don't know, something about that was like, there was this intuitive inclination to just tell stories on the paper. Yeah. And maybe that comes from being an only child, and just like, I was always using my imagination to entertain myself.
Finding ways to entertain yourself. Because I grew up without a sibling for like the first 5 years of my life. And my parents always told me like, oh, we could take you anywhere. We could take you to the movies. We could take you out to dinner, and you would be chill, and you would always find ways to entertain yourself. So I think that's kind of where like my creative like intuition began is just, I always, I would always draw, or I'd always, I would do impersonations, or I would, make my grandmother laugh, because she always wanted me and my cousins to like perform a show for her. And like that was it for like the first 5 years. And then I, had a sister, and then, we would entertain each other.
That's lovely.
But nice. Yeah, man. And okay, so is your cousin still filmmaking?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's crazy. So you kept and you continued it, and then it totally changed within him. What is he doing now?
He is a man of God. So he works. Okay. I don't know exactly what,
like a minister,
something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, he didn't keep on doing it, and I just kept on doing it. Yeah, I just kept on doing it.
That's really what it is, man. I think that's the people that I look up to, and the people that are doing what I want to be doing in like 5, 10, the number one thing they always tell me is just consistency. Just consistency and having that passion. And as long as those two continue, that's kind of where like the luck happens. That's where you meet a certain person and you become friends with someone, and then, oh, like, dude, like I have this idea, oh, let's, create something, and you meet people throughout that ways. And that's what because I got on your Instagram, I love that you document pretty much your process of what of being a writer, of being a director, of being a creative. I've always loved watching the behind the scenes. And this actually goes back to like when my dad and I, and my sister, we would go over to my parents are divorced. We would hang out with him on the weekends, and then he would have us a couple days during the week too. And after dinner, or even during dinner, we would always watch a movie. But we wouldn't watch the movie first. We would always watch the behind the scenes first, and then we would watch the movie.
Cool.
And I'm still that way. I'm still like, oh, I'm gonna see how they made it first, and then I go into watching. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's where they did this, and that's where they did that, and like the puzzle pieces are coming together. I don't know. Yeah. I've always. That's why I'm like super fascinated with the I guess the genesis of making productions, and I just got out of making my first short film. But anyways, dude, I have a ton of questions I want to ask you. And I already asked you the first one. But how do you think your process of creativity has evolved over the years? Like, let's say, from 2016 to now.
That's a good question. I think so much of it is related to just being a screenwriter. So, because the writing informs everything. Right. I think, okay, for example, like I just turned 30 last year.
Happy birthday.
So, and that's kind of relevant to mention, because in your early 20s up to like my mid 20s, there's this for me at least, and most, I would argue most artists in any field of creativity, there's like this tenacious, just like write anything and everything and see if it works or if it doesn't. And I did so much of that, and I feel like as you get a little, you gain wisdom, because you're going through life and you're going through hardships and loss and love and
heartbreak.
And so I'm sorry about that. Someone's at the front door. But so you just get more life experience, which makes your writing more specific and informed, and there's this weight of life to it that makes your characters seem more three-dimensional. It makes your dialogue seem more informed, and there's just more confidence, because you've just, the sheer amount of hundreds and thousands of hours that you've poured into something, you're just gonna, and as you're learning along the way and getting notes and trial and error as you're making stuff,
right,
you just get better. You just get inherently better. And so I think that comes with just doing it over and over again, being consistent, like what you said earlier. And then, and then having the life experience. You need to live a life as a creative, like, and I'm glad that I have, like, taking Europe trips by myself, or, having a romantic summer, or reading literature, or going on a beautiful hike, or, just going, having a spontaneous night out with your friends, and it leads to one thing, and then it leads to, you need like life to be an interesting artist, writer on some level. You need to just live a life. So I think that's kind of what's changed, and then I think there's a very clear sort of pinpoint in my timeline is everything I was making before my dad died and everything that I'm making after my dad died, and that happened 3 years ago. So that's just a seismic shift that would affect anyone, and I can really see the difference in the kinds of stories that I'm telling. I can't stop writing about father figures, which just makes sense. I started, I don't know. I started, the themes started crystallizing a lot more in my writing, whereas my earlier works didn't have as much cohesive tissue throughout it,
right.
And
Yeah,
so
the writing is less on the nose.
yeah, yes, very much. A good screenwriter knows how to say way less than you should. Subtext being everything, actions being everything, dialogue is always second, to me at least.
Oh, so it's the emotion, it's the intention, it's the motives, it's the feelings first, right? Which sparks the dialogue.
It's the things that they do, not what you say. You are what you do, and when you see any piece of great writing, it's usually because of what they are doing. Like, yes, there's entertaining Sorkin-esque dialogue that just sounds beautiful to the ear, and there's a rhythm to it, but it's the things that they do that I think makes for a really interesting screenwriting. Just writing in general, just characters doing stuff actively.
Are there any writers right now that you're just like, it doesn't even have to be a screenwriter, but like an author of a book, or, is there someone right now that you're kind of obsessing with? Maybe obsessing is not the right word, but
not obsessing over, but
you're just a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of, like, right now I'm reading Elmore Leonard, his book La Brava, and he's a great pulpy crime novelist, and I write that stuff, and I love reading it. It fuels the tank to keep on, like, this old man was just writing the most absurd pulp novels with crazy characters, and he was never a hitman or a go-go dancer or a secret agent who's taking photographs of people without their consent. Like, but it's so cool to see that all of his characters are so colorful. But if you type in Elmore Leonard, you'll see that he's just some old white guy with glasses that was just busting out these novels. So many crime novels. Elmore Leonard. So him right now. That's who I'm reading right now.
So crime and thriller and maybe psychological dramas is kind of your.
I would say crime and horror. Those are my two main things. Those are my two main buckets right now.
Right, and which you just won an award for, and maybe not just, but for Dead End, right?
I won an award for. I've been on the festival circuit with Dead End, my horror short, and it's been great so far. We've gone to some awesome festivals. We're looking forward into getting our LA premiere that I'm still waiting on. But the award that we won was for this crime thriller called Bruiser.
And
and we shot that as a vertical. which is the craze right now and what everyone is talking about. It's the new shiny object in Hollywood because hardly anyone is working and things are the hardest they've ever been to get financed and off the ground.
And everyone's on their phone.
Yeah, and then everyone's on their phone. So then, of course, we're such a predictable society. Whenever something new and shiny, like, wait, there's money here? Oh, let's flock to it without even fully knowing the landscape, or people don't even watch verticals. Right. And so we made this thing. It was for a competition. The entry fee was free, and I was looking, this is going to say a lot about me, but it's okay. They make all the entries public. So you can see everyone that's submitting stuff.
Right.
And I was looking at all these entries and I just kind of had this moment of like, okay, I'm going to make something. The submissions were they just weren't of quality. I know what quality looks like. I'm in LA. I'm in the mecca of entertainment. I'm pushed constantly by people that are exponentially better than me. I think that's why so many people move here. That's why I moved here, to be pushed and to flourish as an artist, because all the best of the best are here. And so anyways, I saw all the entries. I'm like, we can make something. We have no excuse. We need to make something. And so I hit up my buddy, Richard, who we were talking about earlier. And we're like, we were already making goofy content, social media content.
Yeah. Which I love. They're like, really funny.
Thanks. Yeah, I like being a goofball. I like being, I'm not an actor, but when I get to just do a bit or a sketch, I like doing that. I just like it. It's just, I like making people laugh too. But anyways, back to Bruiser. The vertical thing, we made it. We shot it for $200 and during the weekend with just some friends. Zero budget, and compared to Dead End, which is like a budget horror short, we just shot this thing. It felt like I was in college again. I was boom mopping on Bruiser. I doing the sound mix and everything. I'll probably never do that again. I say that, but maybe.
But you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It'll save you money in the long run.
Yeah, and then we had fun doing it. It was just like this very fun crime thing that I had come up with. I was going to shoot it as a web series and just throw it up on YouTube, and then I kept on working on other things. And then this competition was very much like an opportunity. Like, let's make something. We have a reason to make something. We have a deadline. I love a deadline. Let's make something, and so. We did I edited all together and then submitted it. And then we won the first place editorial award for it, which was cool. And now we're trying to get a vertical series off the ground. Hopefully they can see the potential in what we made and they can recognize like, well, it certainly doesn't look like anything that currently exists in the vertical space, and it really doesn't. I mean, you can check out Bruiser. It's on all my socials and in my bios, and you can watch for yourself.
Yes, which I did watch while I was in my car at work. I watched the whole. I literally watched the whole thing on my. I got to this place super early. I was like, well, I have like 45 minutes to kill. And then I saw one of your posts. I was like, oh, well, let me watch this. And I clicked on it, watched the whole thing. And I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, I've never seen a vertical like this before. Because otherwise they're like what's it called? They're rom-coms for like the most part, or like dramas. But
yeah,
like,
they're very
like telenovelas.
Exactly.
Like the vibe
that is exactly. And that's exactly
that wasn't it at all.
Thank you. No, it's not. It's very much like a grounded crime thriller, as you saw, and it's about this, this criminal Gus who is babysitting his criminal boss's 12-year-old daughter on the day that he finds out that his boss has greenlit his termination. And so I found that to be a very interesting, dramatic thing to have permeating throughout the entire piece. And so that's the one thing that we did. All these verticals that you're referring to, these sort of telenovela, soapy stuff, they're all driven by constant stakes and constant like, oh, a new reveal here, another reveal there, but they're just done in a very overtly exaggerated way that is just inherently cheesy and doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it's grounded in any sort
Grounded.
of
Yeah.
reality
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and I
Feels
recognize.
unrealistic. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way we shot it too, like every time I've shown the trailer to Bruiser, it's an instant like, oh, this does not look like any vertical it looks dope, but it doesn't look like any of the other things that we're so used to associating verticals with, right? And so maybe that's going to work against us. I don't know. Because maybe all these vertical companies just want, which is classic, just like Hollywood studios too, like more of the same that works for them. You know what I mean? But because it's such a new space and it's growing, they will see the value in Bruiser. They will see that, well, this is just like cool filmmaking for your phone. Let's take a chance on this and see if there is an audience or an appetite for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I appreciate you watching it. Yeah, I had fun.
Man.
I had fun making it. I would
And
love to make a whole series, but that's what we're doing here. Like
I was just gonna say.
yeah, that's what we're shopping it out as a vertical series so that we can tell episodes 2 through 10 or 15 and still doing it in that same style and same tone. So we'll see.
How do you shoot a vertical? Is that still on a traditional like digital camera? I mean, obviously it's not shot on your phone. I mean, I guess you could, but
you could, but no, we wanted it to look pretty good. And I didn't want to shoot. I mean, iPhones look good, but they pale in comparison to a Red or an RE or
Black
and so
Magic.
I mean, how we shot them, like this is very simple terms, but if you're holding the camera like this, you turn the whole camera body like this. We didn't film horizontally and then like cropped it vertically. Like I wanted to like, no, the frame is going to be the way in which we intend an audience to watch it, which is on your phone. And so that's how we did it. That was just shooting it vertically, just turning the camera and framing vertically. And that was interesting. Yeah.
Did you guys come across any issues day of? Or everything was like pretty solid?
Not really. No, it was very I mean,
smooth sailing.
Yeah, pretty smooth sailing because I previs everything I do. So I shot the whole thing on my iPhone before we shot the actual thing.
Yeah,
I did that with Dead End as well too. There's an iPhone version of my horror short that is all edited.
That's cool.
With like music and sound design, but I shot it on my phone, just as a way to be more. And plenty of filmmakers do that. It's not anything that's new.
It's the storyboard without having a storyboard.
Yeah.
Right?
It's better. I think it's better.
Shot, yeah.
It's way better because like you get to actually see how movement looks like when you're watching something in real time instead of just stills. That I'm not a good illustrator, so it works better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. Yeah, I really hope something that you guys continue doing something with it, because I found it entertaining, and then Rich is always fun to watch, and he's a cool dude. And how do you approach collaboration, like when you're on set, when you're working with like the different departments, like how does communication look like with each one, with like your DP and then the art department and then, et cetera, et cetera?
I think it depends on the personality type. So much of being a director is having really strong interpersonal communication skills. You don't talk to one person the same way that you would talk to everyone else. So I talk to my DP differently than how I would talk to my lead actor, or how I would talk to my editor, or how I would talk to my post supervisor, or how I would talk to my sound mixer. So I think once I've been lucky and blessed to have like frequent collaborators. So there's a bit of a just comfort level. And, but yeah, everyone gets spoken to a little bit differently pending how they like to receive information, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And do you have a memory of something, of like a moment when you're on set, when you're filming, that has been like rewarding or even surprising? Like, you have this plan, like you're going to shoot it this way, but then an actor makes a choice, or your, DP was like, hey, I was thinking about, if we shot it, like, I know we said this way, but what if we went this way? And then you were like, oh shit, that's even better, like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it happened on Dead End, my horror short. The whole premise is like the whole thing is set inside of a family minivan parked at a drive-in theater. And after the movie is over, mom and dad break the news to the kids in the back seat that they're getting a divorce, and it's dad's fault because he cheated on mom. And then mom and dad argue, and it's such a simple thing that I just didn't think to get. But Maria Elena, the actress who plays the mother in that piece, she offered up a shot suggestion, like, hey, right, we have this back and forth moment, and you're handheld on Eddie during our exchange, and I know that you have this slide movement that's locked off on me, but maybe you should get another handheld on my coverage just in case, like maybe that'll work whenever it's in the edit. And my AD, who's just trying to be an AD, is like, wait, why are we getting an extra shot here? And I was explaining to him, because I think it'll work. And she brought it up, and let's just quick. And then we did. And then it's in the edit, and it works really well. So that's a little moment that I didn't think to get.
Mm-hmm.
She was feeling something in the moment, and then she, I guess, was thinking about how this would cut together. And yeah, it was a good idea. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's I love moments like that where so like when we were shooting my short Little Boy, have you met do you know Adrian Hernandez? Director, cinematographer?
I don't think so.
I want you guys to meet someday, but I made this short with him, and it's, long story short, it's about my relative who was the tail gunner and photographer on the B-29 Enola Gay airplane that dropped the first atomic bomb in Hiroshima, and I got to play my relative. Anyways, there's this book that he wrote that was passed along in my family that he wrote called Fire of a Thousand Suns, and we based our screenplay off of his book, and we reached out to the ghostwriter, and she gave us a bunch of information that we used. And anyways, so we're out in Riverside. We rented an actual B-29 that's been decommissioned. That was actually had missions over in Japan, as they were telling us. They weren't sure which missions that it was on, but they know for sure that it was used in Japan. And anyways, this is probably midday, probably a little after lunch. There's this scene where my character, Bob Caron, kind of has an idea of what, because none of the crew really knew what they were doing until that moment that they were told by the captain, Paul Tibbets. And so anyways, there's this moment where Paul, I confront Paul, and I'm like, hey, Paul, what are we really doing here? Is this something atomic? And then Paul looks around and goes, yeah. He goes, and then there's this moment where my character's like, oh shit. I knew it, but damn, all right, this is what we're doing. And there's this, and then we were just going to shoot that, his coverage, my coverage, and that was it. But there's this really cool part of the plane where if it's a crawl space, if you crawl through it, it takes you to the other side of the plane. And Adrian had this brilliant idea that wasn't initially in his shot list, but it was Paul crawling through the crawl space to get to the cockpit and into the front of the plane. And then my character, he was like, hey, I had this idea. He's like, it'll take 2 seconds. It was really quick to set up. And it's my character looking in to the crawl space, but Adrian actually crawls inside it and like does like a, like he zooms kind of out slowly, and it's this cool, awesome shot that he got that made it to the final edit. We were both like, holy shit, that looks dope, but it wasn't planned at all. But I love moments like that you're like kind of taking a risk, or you listen, the actor has an idea, and that's why I like people who are open, like in any creative project that you're working on. I love people who are just open to listening, and working with a director like Adrian, for example, he's always open to the idea of listening to like other ideas, and he's like super realistic. He's like the most realistic guy I know, and he'll be like, I see what you're trying to do. He was like, I don't think we could do that with what we have, but we could do this. And then I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. So I just love creative people like that who are just open to ideas. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, big whoop, like big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's not costing a whole lot of money and like, oh shit, we're losing sun or then, But anyways, man, it sounds like you're that kind of creative person. It sounds like you're that kind of director that just will listen to an idea, and if it works, cool. If not,
pretty open. Any good idea you'd be surprised where it can come from, for sure.
How do you actually? That was going to be my next question. How do you go about casting? How do you cast your projects? When you're writing, are you thinking of actors? You're like, okay, I'm going to write this part for him because I know he could deliver it, or?
I would say for my shorts, for my features, no. When it comes to writing the characters, because usually with a short film, it's like, I'm writing this to make this. And the same with my features, but it's just a way different process in getting it made. With shorts, it's usually been like, I know who I'm writing for. And they're usually like my friends, or like people I have like a rapport with. And that usually lends to a better performance because there's comfort and they're a good actor, so it's a lot more dependable than just like casting out a net to random actors I've never met
people
before.
I
look forward to being able to do that, but it's mainly just been like, for the most part, knowing that I'm writing for a specific somebody for my short films specifically. Anything short form. Yeah. Right.
There was a moment when we were casting our short, and it came to we were looking for very specific traits that this captain had, Captain Paul Tibbets, who was a real person. And there was a moment where there was two actors that we kind of pinned. We're like, all right, both of these actors are good. This actor's much older, and Paul is only 30 years old. But this actor looks like he's in his like late 50s, early 60s. But he has that commanding voice that we were looking for. And then Aaron, who we actually cast, he had the presence, but there was something missing from him. And he had the look too. He was like young. He had the look. And then I told Adrian, I was like, dude, you know what? I was like, I think if we give him another chance, I have a feeling he's gonna nail this audition. So we gave him more sides. We're like, hey man, we liked your performance. Here's some more sides. Turn this in by this day. And Adrian gave him a specific note, and he hit it. And I was like, that's our guy. He hit it. I knew it. So, and that was casting someone we, didn't know at all. But I don't know. Sometimes you get that feeling that, gut feeling that, that you got to trust,
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Okay. So we come to this moment in the podcast. We're kind of at that halfway point where I ask my guests, this or that questions. So it's going to be a fast round of this or that questions. But, if one of these questions, sparks like a memory you had or a story, or, you know, we go off on a tangent, feel free to interrupt. All right. So here we go. So I base these questions on the type of guest I'm having. So these are movie this or that questions. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Would you rather be Iron Man's sidekick or Captain America's sidekick?
Iron Man's.
Would you rather play Jafar or play Scar?
Scar.
Would you rather be a member of, or would you rather have an acting role in Mean Girls or The Breakfast Club?
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I would say the same. Okay. Would you rather be the main character in Life of Pi or Interstellar?
Interstellar.
Yep, that's my answer. Would you rather live in Avatar's Pandora or in Lord of the Rings Middle Earth?
Pandora.
Oh, I would go Lord of the Rings. Would you rather be stuck in a Jaws situation or a Jurassic Park situation?
Jaws. Because like dealing with a dinosaur. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, multiple dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Would you rather spend the night in the Paranormal Activity house or in the Conjuring house?
The Conjuring house. I'll say this quick tangent. Paranormal Activity 1, I think, is one of the greatest pieces of entertainment ever made in the history of entertainment.
Yeah, and it was a micro budget. Right?
Yeah, I will never forget that feeling I had whenever I watched. I think I was 12 or 13 when I saw the first Paranormal Activity in theaters, and I just could, like, I was shook to my core. I couldn't believe how effective it was for really. It's just so much dread. It's so much dread. Now it's overplayed completely, and like that. Yeah, that thing that worked for it really probably will never work again because we're such a savvy movie-going culture that we like know all the moves. There was 7-8 renditions of that movie.
I was just gonna say there's a lot. Yeah, it's like
so it's just like there's nothing like it. Like even like the marketing, like you had to demand the movie in your area code, so you had to literally like, hey, we want this Paranormal Activity in our movie theater, so you had to go online and demand it. And so it's like that's such an active way to get an audience to like request a movie to come show it in your theater. And so
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity 1, banger.
Dude, I think what was for me, that movie, that franchise, the scariest part to me was that all the Paranormal Activity stuff that was happening was not in your cliche, classic haunted house. It was like a normal, modern looking house that you would think that nothing would ever happen. That was scary. It was like the house was almost like the antagonist itself. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, we have a few more. Okay, so we're still playing this or that, but this is the creative and storytelling edition.
Okay.
Practical effects or CGI?
Practical.
A tight script or improvisational freedom?
A tight script.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that depends on what the project needs. Would you rather write a story about a complex villain or a relatable hero?
A complex villain.
Tragic ending or a hopeful one?
A hopeful one.
Shooting on film or digital?
I mean, I would love to shoot on film. I owe it to myself to do that, but I've shot everything digitally. I can't say. I mean, they're both different. They evoke a different feeling.
And in terms of finances, film is more expensive, right?
Yeah, it tends to be. Yeah.
Tends to be, right? Handheld camera work or stable tripod shots?
That one, and it depends on the story.
Depends on the story. Yeah. Big budget blockbusters or indie micro budget films?
Define micro budget.
10,000.
Then a blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Found footage horror or psychological thriller?
found footage horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson or Tarantino?
Tarantino.
Tarantino. And that is the end of This or That. Thanks for playing. Okay, I got a few more questions for you. I think we still have like some time left. What, okay, this is like a two-parter. What is the best advice you've gotten in terms of filmmaking, and then what's the worst you've gotten?
Just make what you would like to see. Don't make this I can't stand. Like filmmakers who try and lampoon on social or political events, and they're just trying to be a spokesperson for something, for someone. I don't know what, because usually those works are just not, they're just not entertaining. You know, it's just very, I'm a very simple guy. Like, I'm trying to make stuff to entertain an audience. Because that's what we do. That's why I fell in love with it. I didn't fall in love with it because like, oh, the messaging in this is so deep and considerate, and I'm gonna change my life and my ways moving forward. Like, some stories can have like that feeling after you watch it, but it's mostly because you're entertained by the ride. You know, Sam Raimi said it best. The biggest sin that you can commit in movies is to bore an audience. Don't bore an audience. And I try and that is the first thing I'm almost always thinking about in anything I make, short form or feature, which is this entertaining? Are you flipping through the pages? Are you checking your Vimeo link that I sent you to be like, how long is this short? You know, like how many minutes? Like, I don't want you to be doing that. I want you to just be enveloped in the flow, telling with the characters and the scenario at hand, so that you're entertained by it. So that, like, make what you would love to see. That's the best piece of advice. Jordan Peele said that, and I think Jordan Peele got that from Tarantino, and Tarantino probably stole that from someone else. It's always passed down, right? We're all just iterations of our influences, you know, and so
of each other. Yeah.
And then the worst piece of advice I got was I can't think of something.
We can come back to it. That's okay. That's okay. We can come back to it. Is there a movie that's changed your outlook on life, like at the top of your head?
On life?
Or maybe I could say what's a current, you know, a movie you saw within the last, you know, year or so that you're like, yeah, that maybe change your outlook, or maybe not even outlook, maybe like kind of change your perspective.
Marty Supreme.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In terms of what
in terms of like, well, one, that the movie is incredible. It's incredible. I love it so much, and it is about, again, I think because I just turned 30, and so much of Marty Mauser, the main character in that movie, he's this sort of early 20s kid who just believes in himself like no one else on the planet Earth. And I mean, I still feel that way to this day, but the way in which they portrayed it in the movie is just like this really tenacious bullet that's willing to do anything and everything to achieve his goals. And that was exactly how I spent all of my 20s. A very ferocious quality to it, and I related to it. But then by the end of the movie, which I won't spoil, he realizes that he's got to believe in something else beyond himself for the first time in his life. And I found that to be so beautiful, and I found it to be poignant, and Marty Supreme is incredible. So that's why.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, I saw it last week or week and a half ago. There were moments where I'm like, oh, I want to hate this character so much. But then there were other moments where I was like, oh man, like I'm rooting for him as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, there were moments where I'm like, dude, I hope you fucking learn your lesson. And I'm like, oh man, he's young. He's and that was like the underlying theme is like, I think, how far are you willing to go and how much do you believe in yourself? And that's what I got out of it. But yeah, I thought it was a great movie and very entertaining. I was watching it with my aunt and uncle who are like my same age. And every time like something crazy would happen, I would turn to her and she would turn to me and we'd be like, oh God, like just when you think things won't get worse, they do.
Yeah, I love that.
But that's what this director is known for, right? With like uncut gems, and it's just chaotic. People are like, have you seen Marty Supreme? Like, what do you think? I'm like, it's a fun, chaotic ride. That's all I'll say. Go watch it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
What director, in your opinion, has never made a bad movie?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mm. Is there do you have a favorite PTA movie?
One Battle is incredible, but probably Boogie Nights. And it changes throughout the year. It changes throughout the years.
Uh-huh. I still haven't seen One Battle After the Other, but I hear it's incredible. And of course, he just won all his awards at the Golden Globes.
Wait, yeah, you got to watch it, buddy. It's very, 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 very good.
I know. Do you think your influences show up in your work, or do you try to stray away from?
I think I stray away from it. I don't think I I don't like, maybe they're like shots and moments and stuff, but I don't know. I mainly get influenced by like writers. And then I focus on just like being confident in the way I shoot stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes you'd be surprised where an influence can come from, you know? But sorry, I'm trying to close this curtain. Lights. It's just gonna stay there. Yeah, I don't know. Not any overt influences. Yeah.
What's a piece of advice you would give to 20-year-old Juan? Now that you're at 30, what's something you would tell 20-year-old Juan?
Find your genre faster, I guess. But that's kind of impossible. Like, you kind of just need life to happen and you find it on your own. But I don't know. I kind of did exactly what I wanted to do in my 20s. And at 20, I felt like I was already doing everything that I felt like I was supposed to be doing and what felt right, you know? So I don't know. Cause I was having fun. I mean, I was hard on myself, sure, but I would never change that. I think you're supposed to be hard on yourself. I mean, there's a limit, right? But I think tremendous artists are incredibly hard on themselves. So I think I wouldn't change that. So I don't know, probably nothing. I was having fun. I was making stuff. I was living my life and I was enjoying it. So I don't know.
Okay. The hell yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to use these last few moments for you to, kind of plug in what you've got, what you're working on, any things coming up in the future. I know you said that you're trying to find a premiere for Dead End soon for LA. Or like, where can we see your projects at? I think you said you have links, correct?
Yeah. You can check out all my stuff on all my socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. All my stuff is there. It's on my website too, but it's all linkable. It's all there if you find it. What I'm working on is mainly just trying to get my features going, and I've had some great traction with this one script called Survive the Night, which is a Christmas crime thriller that takes place over the course of Christmas Eve, and I've had a lot of traction with that script. I'm confident that will get made, and that I'll be able to direct it. It's at a couple different companies that I kind of don't want to say right now so I don't jinx it, but it's got traction. This is something I've been working on and that I've been trying to get off the ground, financed for the past like 3.5 years. So it's been a journey. But I'm confident that we're going to be able to make that movie. A really big oops, I almost slipped it. A really big horror producer got his hands is reading one of my horror features that is based on my short Dead End, and hopefully he likes it. That's something that I don't have to direct, that can just be like, this is a great script and a great concept, find a bigger director who would want to make it or not. So he's reading that, so knock on wood, something happens from there. And then with Bruiser, like hopefully that's a vertical series, or I also wrote it as like a traditional like half-hour TV show, and I'll be pitching that as well. But that's about it for right now. Yeah.
I mean, dude, sounds like you've got stuff on the horizon, and I wish you nothing but the best, man. And I love your work, and I'd love to work with you someday, dude. You're an incredible director, and you have so much passion. I love watching all your reels on Instagram, and I see them, and I'm like, damn, okay, it makes me want to push myself even harder, creatively. And dude, I was telling Rich too. I was like, man, like you and I, and like maybe Juan should like get together and like write something and create something for like just the two of us, like a 1 to 2 minute like short or something for like the fun of it, like no budget, like we could use like my place or we go to a park or something. I don't know. And he was like, yeah, like I'd love to. And I need all the, still trying to get all the experience I can get, and trying to get more footage for my reels, which I have. I just have the short film of. That's it. But
yeah.
Anyways, man, great to talk to you. And hopefully we can hang out soon. I'd love to just get a drink or like a coffee or something.
Yeah, man, we can set something up. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. Appreciate you having me on the show, man. And yeah, it's been a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
See ya. Peace.
Peace. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, Juan Gil. Music by Mark Fabian, produced and engineered by Robert Altschiller, recorded at Command Recording Studios. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at Command Creative Studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.